Welcome everyone to the afternoon session with Drupon Rinchen Dorje Rinpoche, and we will do the question and answers that have been submitted to the Garchen Institute via email. And I will read the question, and Ina, our translator, will translate it, and we will go from there. We've got quite a few questions. We're going to try to get through all of them because we know how important it is that people get their questions answered. And then afterwards, we'll take a short break and then begin the afternoon practice session. So please, everyone, stay with us for the whole session. We'll start with the first question. Will the empowerment and transmission be effective if a person cannot watch the live broadcast and that person watches the YouTube recorded video later? Will that person be initiated? Or do these kind of online empowerments only work if they are watched at the moment they are being performed?
Dachana la one nangi yorava. Teni something Kachin Nambe Kaplatini, Javana Yong to give a mare. Teni Jella YouTube Nala Consolona yorava. Teni Jima Wang Nangsa to Teni YouTube Lonian de la Tene. Teni Wang the top to is.
Teta. Well, that's so. The mobile, not to be reason, mobile cheat in a so take or Yamna to this, to be reason.
Yeah, Drupon thinks that if you have the aspiration and the wish to receive the empowerment, and then also the wish to engage in practice, then you will receive the empowerment also later on.
Or Trajet, a car, your mother, Trajet, so now, Gidimandora.
Cheyang Gichamarava, something Sava in Yematupa Chavera, Penny Benasanin Dagin, Penangos to take by Yorava, has been a chance and Nupsegum, but then Tatukuya Marata.
Yeah, don't think it, mother.
Really? Yeah.
Okay. Next question, number 2. Is this a highest yoga tantra? If the answer is yes, will this be the only highest yoga tantra empowerment we should ever receive? Or can we receive empowerment for other highest yoga tantras in the future?
Tambati Sangalana mebe Gurves, Kesi Yena, and then in Maum Param, Sangalana mebe Dijipo, Top Gorves, Yana, they meant they are Mambo Shemba and Top Chores. Tomna Yakores. And Dichipo Tomna Yagare.
Steady talking about my units out of it.
Did like this.
Well, that's it. It's on the Sanga Lanami, Lama, let me do, say, or let me do it. And that did not pay you, Maju, Nimi juice, and what Maju, now that's all one the child is. Or let me do this. The Jima so Yamnachi to Carton and the Cores, you Carton, some other symbol is some other symbol, Carton and the Corella, or the Yamnachina, Sanga Maju, Malare Peke, Yedam Polo Dumbated. So I think they are Nuna, Chilap Chung to Madolan, Kadoji, Tamsa Ins, or the song you wrote in, so Yamnachi Tona. Or Chinap Chimbo was married to the
So yes, it is a highest yoga tantra, the unsurpassed yoga tantra, and the class of unsurpassed yoga tantra consists of 3. There are the father tantras, the mother tantras, and the non-dual tantras. And this one is a mother tantra of the unsurpassed highest yoga tantra. And if you want to engage in practice, then it's also fine to receive other highest yoga tantras in the future because they are all very precious. But it is said that because the Yidam Cakrasamvara was Milarepa's main Yidam deity, and Milarepa himself had said, therefore, if you supplicate to this deity it is the Dakini Samaya to grant exceptional blessings. So the blessings are really exceptional for this deity. But of course, you can receive other empowerments as well.
Okay, next question, number 3. Is there an even more concise sadhana of Cakrasamvara connected to the Gantapa tradition that Drupon can offer us or tell us about so that we can preserve a daily continuity of practice after the retreat?
Tanda tsam te tsa tu ngan so gyundo gyungkya nyamnan se ala tanda Drupa lukso ki temjo yorwa tanda tirwa Drupa lukso ki temjo nyamnan taron tele tuji yorwes tanati dupa rawa taron tele dupa yorwes
ane tele dusa zai xin yo sigres mina na daksi dibo tan yorwa被讲的像他的我的其他边把拿了他的我做等叫看上大西几个的话我是大西几个的我是其他的水准的有的我是其这里留下成大西几个成就有几的是有啥的对成就有啥的我他今天的成就成就有啥的
今天第过了就错了今天有点你就错了
你去做有什么的？其他同样嘛，都等那可早的，你嘛节目了嘛，这像那点工作的在多听，那点的时候，经常都叫对见多听你不上，就是那当有的，这个现在这个基本的是吧？基本都。
So it's possible that there is one that contains just a self-visualization. It is much shorter. There is a five-fold path of Mahamudra preliminary text that was composed by Holiness Chezang Rinpoche, and that one also includes a very brief Cakrasamvara practice. The Injitolayore.
Injito, me kazan de dang yi na dian mo ro de cha sang de do ti na de chao de ju de do. Ye, shou ju ni yo se de ma de do shou ju ni yo la kana shou da.
So it has been translated into English. It's very short. It's just like 12 pages, but it includes the whole mudra too.
The shou da mo ro ma ti shou da chang ka ju ni ne ma de chao de bo ji ya.
Sorry, on page, it's very short, but on page 12, the Cakrasamvara practice starts. So anyways, it has been translated into English. He sent it to Christina the other day.
Yes, so we have that sadhana on the website. It's called the Fivefold Path of Mahamudra Sadhana. And that is in the Cakrasamvara Teachings, Empowerment, and Practice section on the Summer Teaching Text page. Everyone can find it there. Okay, next question. If we have TUMO teaching and are practicing without a partner, could you please explain how the circulation from the heart of the father and up the central spine of the mother is occurring in our own body between the male and female aspects?
So TUMO nyamnan chetura teni TUMO teni ngangko te kanna de kondo huyorabang so kasan laswa yapta yumgi pala teni ngarang la pena ngarang di kom sona teni nga yum mena ngubat de raba pena ringma da woti mission bara tina woti mena mela tena ringma dinda mena teni yang nga yap ra teni yap kingang ko de ma do yoraba teni yum kopa na yang yan do yoraba tini ina yang yum goma yomarwa tini khanda da ko nore ngarangi nguna nga yum na la korge tinga khanda chogre
this is that the dang zo zaman zo mi ka kom go shole mi ka kom na ti go shome yi me yom tianik mo yom tianik tin yam na chi tu gi mi chi yo ma yam na to bo na o tin du yam na chi tu shomi ha ho ya ja amare so te azo mi ka chi ne ta gombo te yom so Guam Bukha, the Yamani Sosola, but I wanted to Soso Tamaki from the Guam Jicomara, and then the woman by the Joe Guam Bukha, the Joe on the Pachi, or the Animana, Kahas Chakrawati, Yonte, on the Guam Bukha, Akona Guam Bukha, Niji Many Yomski Goya Maris, Tina, the Tina, the Yamachi to be made in Maris.
So most important is the visualization, and actually it's not necessary to have an actual partner, an actual concert. It's actually only recommended for practitioners who have very high levels of practice and realization. So actually what we should do is visualize the concert. And Cakrasamvara is a deity that has a consort. So when we visualize ourselves as Cakrasamvara, we are not seeing our ordinary body. We are visualizing Cakrasamvara. And Cakrasamvara has a consort. So consort is not separate from, it's part of the visualization, part of Cakrasamvara. So this is how we should visualize. And actually, it is not recommended to have an actual consort.
Next question, number 5. Is there an online course or a book where we can study in detail all the steps and visualizations we have to follow for the practice?
The India don't mix it. That's not the hockey, not the Chinya Yoga. In other institutions, how come someone said, Piatanu, this is your health, and you said, I control what you talk. Or then you said it, another. Or to do it, then you said it, you know, that Zilla don't do yet. Kahian, the June Chinya tend to the yoga, what in that you thought that here can get what to the Yam, your schema, some stuff.
Then tap carry recommenda.
Tap carry here.
That Ticola tap, Ticola Crunche tap.
You got some mixing to the Yadana, this is Yaman, the Ambeka Kashina Ponde, and did are semi your marriage. The Katanti Zavito, you know, the Chuati for Amat, Hija, Nima, the Pesha Kajan artists, Katan, what is all she see in Malaiva.
Yeah, so Drupon is not aware of an online course like that. It's possible that it exists, and there might be more out there in just Tibetan language. He's not so sure about English now, and also not so sure about books that, especially that have been translated into English, because the teachings that he gave is based on the sadhana and more from his own personal experience, having done the practice and having studied some of the text about it, but he didn't really follow a certain book. So he was more speaking from his own experience.
Oh, the
But Drupon thinks to remember that in the Arizona bookstore, we do have a book, or had a book, translated by Mark Riege. And this book, actually, it's a commentary on the Cakrasamvara practice, and it's very clearly explains the consecration of the nectar and the protection sphere and the deities of the aggregate sense sources and elements and so on.
Okay, thank you. We will make sure that we get more of those books in our bookstore so we can have them available for everyone. Next question. For those of us who are doing the 5-deity Haruka as our main practice, hold on, sorry, I just got the message that we have over 60 copies, 16 copies of this book. It's called The Manual of Gantapa's 5 Deity Cakrasamvara. And we've got 16 books right now that are available. And we will be trying to get more. Okay, next question. For those of us who are doing the 5 deity Haruka as our main daily practice, can you give some suggestions on how to abbreviate the practice on days when one has little time, like 30 minutes, or when one wants to do a second session, shorter session of about 30 minutes?
Teni bana korang chuwon nyamlen tim changtong lang nga di nyamlen nima tapa di nyamlen chiki yoris kyunke yina yang samsan la tuchu jira yo mare samsan la nima re kamo samcho mata tuchu yo mare yana samsan la tunchit sung toku yor yang tun nipa di tong da sung gores kampana kama samcho teni tela ta nyamlen di do you go na kandas do gores kandu do ale ti choa kasang de chakati do da when you mention not that kompa mambo me tu so mambo me dasi ma don ha de dasi tra om subhava shud ram ti shokte ha gore shokte da shokte ta khasi sna to da zon ne so 저게 숨소리에 저기들이 엄 써봐 주다 서로 도트리 많고 또 되게 많을까 되게 많고 또네 네 바자 사디 상디 있어 숨주소 직 숨숨 아니 송아 this one into the north wasum surunga wa sungye jogta om soba chuda sarwa dan ma soba chuda wa motere sia tiri ma ko tene nya ba sa ra wa tiri ma ka to nya ba za tene wa tene sumche chukshira song fa ston wa chukshira song fa ston te yo ma so te mo lam da kontom bon test ki han de uchi test de te chukshira som nyam ba sha pardo nyam be sha de dissolution si sa ne ya ta dang ya de yo ra la la de ti de mo lam da on de te so ma don na de So if you want to do an abbreviated version, you can just do the self-visualization part, which after you did some opening prayers, you can start on page 35 on the bottom with the Om Svabhava mantra, and then continue on page 36 all the way to the mantra recitation, which goes until 61, 2, and then on 63, you do the dissolution and the re-emergence. So all the way to the end of 63. And then you can just do dedication prayers at the end.
Okay, next question. For the dissolution stage, how does Rinpoche suggest we understand the corresponding visualization of the elements at death and the appearance of signs of mirage, smoke, white out, red out, black out, etc.? I have read 3 different ways Galupas do this, but would like to practice according to the Drikung.
Na durim ki kapla tini chiva dan jawa yorwa durim na chivan chipa resungi yorwa tini chiva kapla tini pena tak tamanda junya yorwa pena mikyu tua tini kalam malam nalam dina shaya yorwa tini tiran durim jawa yore tini ki lukpa Koran suti Java setang mandawa sum yore songgitos di Koran ti sanyamnan lonyong pecha lonyong yina yang pong jikung ga kin nangshin nyamnan jendiyos
And what just looking at that, they don't mix it, Maduram cheetah, the Mimina, Shaya Matozek, the Galamana to some of your Mati, gonna sit down the same. That's what much will be on this continent shop. To so continent shop. Or they on the Toyland, this I advantage behind this. Now mix it, he gonna Chamba some of the Bangumari said, Galamana taking your rat. But they want to us, they mix it, the Yamachi be that and damn that. Oh, it's the Yamay what you want. You read them, don't they mix it, Gundo Goya, say you're somebody to mix the sort of. What the cheese in it, did not answer you that they command that you're right. No one can number the march is equal and it is.
So here in this practice of the Cakrasamvara and the dissolution, we are not actually practicing in relation to those like visions of whiteness, redness, and blackness. So we are not meditating on that. We are just, after dissolving, we are resting in a non-referential state without any mental fabrication for however long you can abide. And when thoughts arise again, then you re-emerge from the meditation. In terms of the mirage and smoke, these are not actual practices, but these are signs of practice that may appear after one's death as a sign of having practiced. But the actual dissolution stages at death after whiteness, redness, and blackness, they are the same. They're explained in the same way in any tradition. But here in this context, we are not actually practicing with that.
Next question. For Vajrahi, do we visualize her seed syllable as hung, bam, or does she have both in the heart? If both, can you describe how they're placed in relation to each other?
It is bam, and for Cakrasamvara it is hum, so they have different seed syllables.
Next question. I have two main practice questions about the Cakrasamvara empowerment with TUMO as the main question. On page 57, there is TUMO practice. Is this something we can then sit and rest in for a while? Or do we then continue the TUMO through the mantra recitations on page 58 to 62?
Ni temsho ki wang dan dreva tumo dan dreva ni yos hambo ti shote ngapchunga tun lang so tumo nyamlen chia yorwa teni ti mikpa di salsa tu teni tin nalatis ne gorves teni ne tsartu teni nyamba tu ngapchunga kene jochure ni parto reton gorves.
Oh, really? What I told you this is not reversed. No more microchine. Tatati. That's what they were all marked. That's some can do the Euratra microchine. So what I have read. Mambos on your fan. Tombochina, I wish I was watching. Tramicrachi, Terachin, and Xavier, or these microchis at the jail tapa. Tatati curse. What in your Marosa is not about this.
They made it at some they made any they made so yes, it is just like you said. You can just read that page on 57 and then just rest in that for a while in the practice, in the visualization of TUMO. And the main focus is below the navel where the three channels converge. So you focus your attention on that mainly. In the beginning, we shouldn't do too many visualizations, just stabilize that first. And then after some time, you just continue on page 58, the visualization for the mantra recitation and so forth.
Next question. Is there a daily Samaya of mantra? May we do the quintessence mantra for father and mother if we are short on time?
Tini nyempa tuyan tela nima tapa ta nyempa tuyan tamsi yorves. Tini yena tini tirwa nyini rwa yap ki nyini di yap to yum ki nyini nika nima tapa tu tong chipo to nan jigi rves kan tong ra.
Ore tong na de.
Ye tamsi yorve.
Da nyamna chi thona ya gore khasi ma to na saki yo marwa. Take care of my story. You can find him out. I'm saying, don't say, Chancho, Samaya, Chigo, Chancho, the Sintian Pama, Pianshira, no much you what that's what I'm saying. What in Yanachitona, they are one, because Simatona, Yan Tapasimatona, what Tapasimatona, sometimes it's seen. This a key of Mara. Not so much that's all you're.
Yeah, you can recite the shorter mantras, the quintessence mantras, and if you're not able to do the practice every day, it is fine. There's nothing we can do about it. That's fine, because during the empowerment, I mentioned that the actual Samaya's bodhicitta, to try to not let that decline, and also have said that you should try to benefit sentient beings as much as you can, and if you can't, at least you should not harm them. So that's the actual Samaya to be kept, and then you just do the practice. And then you just do the practice as well as you can, as much as you can. So you can do it sometimes, even if you can't do it all the time, because people are very busy nowadays.
What in on the senior but Yak Nian to the Yom Nian, that's why
And you need Mata Yamara. Actually, this sadhana that we just mentioned, that was composed by His Holiness, that we have on our website now, that actually, for the mantra accumulation of Cakrasamvara, only includes the quintessence mantras of the father and the mother.
Okay, next question. On page 11, it says, quote, the point of union of the Guru Father and the Guru Mother, unquote. Can you please explain what this is and how to visualize?
Chuchik pala, telatisung lama yap yum nyumchuk jorjamne. Jorjam se atim ti kharis ti khana mikpa khana tangoris sa khana tagoris.
What that's not how to mandri ya
I know that I can explain it. But I think he can explain it better. Can I do it again?
Lama ya nyum ju something you something like that. Tele was the mountain launch at debating sala no tele so debating ya. And someone wants to do someone you think is want to.
So the point of union is where the point of the sexual union, where the sexual male and female parts connect. That's the point of union, and this part relates to the secret empowerment.
Next question. What are the 5 meets? What are the meanings of the syllable Hong, Brum, Ram, and Kam?
Shanga Kararis, Teni Yindu, Hom, Brum, Cham Kamyova, Di Tanda Kararis, Tambo Shanga, the Kararis.
Shanga, it's a word, Sha Misha Halang Lanchan Sha Lagura, Halang Sha Lambo Chisha, Taisha Misha Chicha, Halang Lanchan Sha Lagura, Shangochi.
Just Langra.
La the Lanchan need of Halang, the Lanchan, current on some Sakali of North and Home to mature someone's a drum to the number of the
This go this drum the number nangte.
Is or then answer the Samarity. Rinchen someone Zaint Nawatayi can't tell you what to do. He's someone now someone I said.
The broom the doing it to button.
Drum to number not is a lot.
Yang can Jim the number nangte also.
Home to mature bachi, some home.
Yeah.
Say drum number not drum. The aunt in the Saint Nawate, Zaint Zarawa, Saint Nawate, they can't generally summarize it in the
Do you drop?
What on it?
So the 5 meats are the flesh of horse, human, elephant, dog, and bull. And then the syllables hum brum am chim and kam. Hum represents Akshobhya, the Buddha Akshobhya. Brum, the Buddha Vajrachana. The Buddha Ratnasambhava. Jim, the Buddha Amitabha. And Kam, the Buddha Amoghasiddhi.
Next question. On page 30, can you please explain what is Vajrasamvara?
Shokte Sumchula, the Sumchu, the Trukshin Sartabiorava, Heroka Gasa Tupe Hule Setribedi. Any Jukla, Namkala Chain Drang, any Pensa Samatza, Vajrasamvara, Sumudwa, the Pensa Samatza, Tuntak Chile.
大家当把这三满子从到建长为同道的，建所长为同道的。
Here in this context, it means to invite.
我看是那的这个的怎么说要用看的那马上别可能怎么用的三满子让有哪怕建长子，老是把这三满子是建长的，哪着的噻？同道是建长的，哪着的？
So here we are inviting the Guru as Cakrasamvara and then Cakrasamvara and his deities into the space before us. And Vajrasamvara means it means the invitation, but it means to invite according to their Samaya. So then based on their Samaya, they have to come.
Next question. On page 33, what are the 5 nectars of the inner offering?
So the 5 nectars are feces, urine, bodhicitta or semen drops, blood, and brains.
Next question. What is the blazing mudra?
There are Barve Sakya, Barve Gyati Kararis. Can they see Drupon? I can see him, right? He
can show it. Everybody can see Drupon.
Yeah, so you circle like this. And so your eyes follow the circle. Your eyes go up. You turn. So also here, the basic mudra also, the meaning is invitation.
Next question, on page 57, what is the essence of each of the 4 chakras and how does this correspond to their respective syllables?
The short and out in a dune la, then the color she's on Yorava, color she more the Harris, then the consolidated color red lang, Hindu Yorava, then so Hindu and the color de Landava Carriores, then it tamboting over.
Cutting over.
Color she.
Color that you don't mixing over those things. I just share them to the color shit. You don't need to not ever do a color then. Two more giant. Say, then you got was in color then, and you got choosing color then was say giant. I drink about choose color then, Malam giant. Or did you want the chain color then? Tadati, you knew Jaya. Or tell you that you never choose at young, that's a very true case. What's it love? What's it very true case in Colossian Tanjava picture? What's it love about it? Or tell me that's someone you don't hold that is someone that is at all. No, you don't someone that you got in sometimes you have a mother's station, got someone did it to see. Down Malam Khan and Malam Khan, but down here, Mamukoya, Ramada Yungra. The Antimo that in Vajra, the most of going on, Nicola, someone Ramada. I say that the Ramada Goya and Ramada, that's a Jessian did it, says in the Doyasi. Well, come on, sorry, slow. Jada, there is a Jada, and the other Jada, and there is a part of Yara.
Chiran, the river.
Jada, there is a part of Yagale, come on, sorry.
So I'm not so sure about like in terms of the essence now, but the 4 chakras relate to the 4 root dharmas of the 6 yogas of Naropa. So the first one, the emanation chakra at the navel, we practice with the navel chakra when we practice TUMO. Then we practice with the Dharma chakra at the heart when we practice luminosity. And we practice with the enjoyment chakra at the throat when we practice dream yoga. And we practice with the great bliss chakra at the crown when we practice the illusory body. So those 4 practices are related to the 4 chakras. In terms of the seed syllables, it's not always actually the same seed syllables. Depending on what practice one engages in, the seed syllable may vary. It's just like this here, but if you would practice a dream yoga, for example, it would be a different seed syllable. Or if you hear in this context now, when we practice the TUMO, blazing and dripping, then there is a certain kind of visualization like it is here with certain seed syllables, but it's not always like that.
Next question. Can you please explain what is the pathway of the Vajra and what is meant by the lotus of the mother?
Yeah,
on page 58.
Dorje Lam. Yap ngapchunga git teni yabla Dorje Lam teni yumla bema yores tumuta yumgi bema teni yap ki Dorje Lam teni
nga kuriya da be
re te make the lam
de me
tela yap Dorje Lam teni yum ki bema songi yorwa
ne
te yap Dorje Lam teni yum bema khararis
Hakosari. Hakosari. That's about the main goal. I think that's all. Yeah, that.
So there's not much to be explained about it. It's the pathway of the Vajra is the penis of the man and the lotus is the vagina of the woman.
Next question. Rinpoche, mentioned if we get tired while reciting mantra, that we can shift focus to thinking of purity and the color, implement, etc. of the deity, then bring focus back to the mantra. Does he mean to stop chanting and visualize, or to keep chanting while shifting focus?
가장 좀 재미있게 갑라로 그런 성탄다 잠장 사람 니바도한테 탕치기 여러바 탕치도 되는 연습에나 작바 템파텔라 미바타나 초레스 센테나라 자덴 되니 되니 타바젬바 되니 티차도 양야 데메텔라 초용 초람 바도한테라 되니 티카플라람 간소 나 작바 템파게 갑라다 우지 겨바 담베 갑라람 티 갑라 되니 냠바도 참쇼거레스 되니 작바 템파티 니파 스타트업 치포레스 야나 티 갑라양 몬트나 냠바디 동거레스
냠바 동거레스 무이트 동테네 아셈 소 네마토 강에 차나 세미과디시시 아레마스 냠바라 무이트 동거레스 소데 마이와 치고 한가 갈리 칸에 예초노더라 마이와 치 센세 타바 쳔바라 Taba Chambasian Taki, Jerem to the channel, Jerem, sometimes good or chance of this, some more down to Lucina, Jerem, so in the Pinkity. The young middle is Pinkity, or 60, and I never moved to run home, but some of them.
So you don't stop chanting the mantra, you keep chanting the mantra, but shifting means here, you're just shifting focus, you're not shifting the practice. So you keep chanting the mantra, but if you get tired of doing just the same visualization over and over again, then you can shift focus to recollecting the purity, recollecting the purity of the deity's color and the implements and so on. Because if you shift the focus from time to time, it may help you to refresh your visualization and to not become distracted. But you're just shifting visualization, you're not stopping the mantra recitation.
Next question. Regarding visualization, should we feel ourselves to be the deity in our own body, or picture in our minds that we are the deity, project a mental image so that we see ourselves as the deity?
Teni soso ki lasar ko yarwa. Teni soso lasar tu teni penangang ngarangi kama bilude ngarangi ludera ngarangi support shachaki supporti ampla bongo reves parnan yana soso semnan la chi shaya yorwa pena miktum semnan chi tamenda shaya yorwa ina dia semre soso support rangmendo kana nang shi bongoris
that's it so hard gumdu so report gongo for support nan la ran ki ma ro les gongo de dan de mo chi chao lan dawon de sha chang dawon ba ma sam ti nan la ran ki ma ro de da kan to process gongo nan jia la a si wo yo ba ji dong jia ran ki ma ro de chang de jia an dawon de jia song dawon yang song de wu ta ku gong go fan ta me xian ba do se song do ji jian song ba ji bin jia song go fa de ka ta me xi fang jian so de les我这家中这个是光过学的去，那家我那超的那通的是吧？我这其实呢，从大刚家超的嘛，那真那意思在工作去。
So you are visualizing your own body, your actual body as the deity, because you're training into seeing your body as appearing yet lacking any true existence. So you're not seeing the body as like a painting or as something composed of flesh, blood, and bones. So you visualize the deity, yourself as a deity, clearly, yet lacking any inherent existence. So this clarity is appearing, the appearance of the body is the clarity, and its emptiness is that it doesn't inherently exist. So you visualize it just like a rainbow. Chichen Songön had said the visualization of oneself as in the form of the deity will turn away ordinary thinking. So ordinary thoughts about ourselves. When you see a rainbow, you can clearly see it, but you know that it doesn't really substantially exist.
Next question. Does the torma need to be made fresh daily, or can we make a batch and offer from that for several days? What should it look like? If unable to make, can we visualize the torma offering and offer from our heart? Will this still produce the same merit?
Then also torma then so nima tapasaba so gorves yana ngaran so thambo tuchigla it's a manyam do dozo then nima read this pu dina chena chogorves dini Tamotil tano tiba kasato tamotil langyamna ringa chela lagin.
Well, this Dunma Jidan ye Puto and Rota Mina, you never shot it, makes it queer Jaguars, and Choshan Masha, Priatina, or Taninga Chamason, this is among so the Parafin and the and the Rumasona, Karisana, Hontamanimata, so ya, Piso Madan Gangan, Washa, or Tindu, teaching Andres, Ma Bechan the Pinta is so the Queen Andres.
Then Doma Sopta Kanda Davoko race.
Doma Kandu, Choyas, or
Giria, what is the English? Read it.
Don't you have the Gartor Juris, Gartor Sorshila, Sorshia, Chuchu Banshati, Sorshila, Chilanga the way.
Yo, Tonguyo.
Our bitch, I don't understand that, say you know. I don't know. These sword they can Chuchoya, these songs Chekastan. These or on these or the soil, Chuchu and the Runoya, the just or the Runoya, Kiki, Katoshi, today and didn't do that, Tepsi and the culture, the Rasan Zeki, a Jihola, the say the chance to talk on these services.
Dunda di Carre?
Doing that, Tepsi about Bogo, the Sonoa, the Rubos, the Rubos,
in a manira.
Or tell the chat and do it at all.
Chikra.
Or tell I know the chat. Do to my Dojian Gorko, Chia, Zel, so that the chances to the need of the son and the
Yaplara.
Yal, says it, you know, Jamanima.
Then he kissy Toma di so Matuna, then he
so Matona could be the
or kinds and a deal contilabito. Ning tapane, make pass hard at Nayam Punachoris.
Really, there's all me pass here done and the man, because it's so mother could be the watching door on me by cheese, Tushan and this.
Then it's so numb chick part of us.
There is no magic, no, there's a pruna. So my answer sometimes so yeah, Mara, do Mara,
So first, you don't have to make the dorma every day freshly because we don't have the time to make dormas every day. But it also shouldn't be too old, like shouldn't be spoiled. But you can prepare a few for about a week or so, or for a few days, and just then keep offering them. And how it should look like. So these dormas that we offer outside are called white dormas, and they have 4 sides. So if you just saw a Drupon holding up the Vajra, like a Vajra on one of the prongs, on each prongs has 4 corners which are slightly pointed. So you'll make those 4 pointed corners, and then in front of the dorma is a little looks like a tiny little cup or like a little button which sits in front of the dorma, and then behind are 2 ornaments. So actually there's one top ornament that is made out of butter, and then behind is like a circle which is also made out of butter. If you're unable to make any dorma, you can also offer like a cookie or something like that. But of course, most important is to offer it from your heart, and the merit will be the same.
그러다 이봐 통마 하는 이 상황에서 반대로 통도와
So there's this.
지한테지 또 요래다 그것도 마마로 제도아세 대치 이어트라라 센터지 노고르 테요 이어 베마지 요래 쇼아체는 도체세 초초는 루지마데 야로 테지 요 초지 어때 센터지 요래 요치스네 나한테
나 보통도 그렇죠.
안에 단 충충도와
배 충충래.
안에 대다지 예당도 반도 나나리 이거 초소 이메일 간단하게
Yes, I think it's hard to explain like that because I can't see it very clearly. But Drupon is going to send this picture to the center. But it's a picture of the main Dharma of Cakrasamvara. So if you can't make the Dharma, or if you don't have a Cakrasamvara Dharma, you can also use this image, this picture of the Dharma. And this actually is one that you don't have to bring out or exchange. It just stays there on your shrine. So he just described the different parts with the red one on top and then lotus flowers on the bottom. But it's hard to explain without the image here, but maybe later we can share it online.
Next question. On page 19, with the generation of the deity, what is the size of the principal deity and where is it placed? At the crown, the heart, or below the navel, etc.?
담보는 저 나외 살때 배갑라 런니기 좀된데 렌지기 배고 살바겨 디 갑라디니 하초고데 최종 칸다스 공고리스 담보 되드링아 갈래
안에 다 담보 다 최종 다데 믹스 최종세 세기만 도든 이제당세 최종 소소다 그거 세스세 공만 믹스 최종 대치나 되게
Tani tena soso chiwo la kom linka la kom dewa la kom ti mara soso suporo.
support 공고 support 계제 서 저거 이게 같은 주의 맞대. 담보타 제рем테 계제 종치세. 송그레스 계제 종 이거야. 그래서나타 요트레테 도스치지라야 도마치지라야 초바치나 여러와. 와트선 타마베 치지라 투 말레스. 장사제리 제렘 그만 치지라는 데서 치지라 투 그래서.
So on page 19, when it says, in an instant I appear in the form of the co-emerging transcendent conqueror, you're actually visualizing your whole body as the deity. So you're not visualizing the deity at the crown, at the heart or somewhere, but you are the deity. As I mentioned the other day, it has in an instant, so it is an instantaneous visualization. Instantly, you appear as the deity, and we said that the reason why we appear as a deity instantly in the very beginning is because right after that we are consecrating the nectar, the dharma, and the offerings. And as ordinary beings, we cannot confer blessings. So in order to confer blessings, we have to be a deity. And that is why in the beginning, we already visualize ourselves as the deity.
Next question. I am currently working on the fivefold path of Mahamudra Nundro and am committed to completing it. I feel a connection to Cakrasamvara and would like to engage in this practice also. Is it possible to engage in both of these at the same time, or should I complete my Nundro first?
Tanda korang tim chashing ating di Nundro nyamlan chigi yus. Dini ti yinzi mi tar gogodos. Yina yang demchot nyamlan dalan java yores sam yus pin nyamlan chen yus. Dini niga nyamdo nyamlan chen chigi reves yang na tambo Nundro chagores.
Oh yeah, the tambo Nundro chana ya boris. The kasi ma chana nyam nyana china chigi res. Kasana pe chana Nundro das.
Yeah, so it is best if you can first complete the Nundro, the preliminaries, and then practice Cakrasamvara. If you can't wait, if you really want to do it, it's okay to do it together. But it's recommended, it's better if you first complete the Nundro and then practice Cakrasamvara.
Next question.
And so if you want to practice it together, then you can start the beginning of the session with the preliminary practices, and then later in the session you practice Cakrasamvara.
Is there one main mantra one can use for Cakrasamvara meditation that would be equal to all mantras?
So probably not, but it is said that if you accomplish a single deity, you accomplish all the deities, because it is said in the scriptures that within the expanse of primordial wisdom, all the Buddhas are one. So even though there is a variety of different rituals and practices in their essential nature, they are the same. So therefore, if you practice one deity, it is like practicing them all. If you practice Cakrasamvara well, then you accomplish all the other deities.
Next question. If the practitioner does a few sessions per day of the Cakrasamvara sadhana, what part of the sadhana do we need to restart it with in the second and third session, or do we need to start from the beginning every time?
the Dorchman Marvacha, two Nipa, some part in or Mama concept, Ma, your Maracocha was under the door. What are Mandoti, Monam Division, and the Cholis. What are two Yema, the Dorchimat and Mongolis, Dorchiman, don't three on Martipan, those are near 200 degrees.
Okay, listen up. So, in the first session, so let's assume we have 4 sessions a day, which is customary. In the first session, you begin in the very beginning with like the entire sadhana. You start in the beginning. In the second, third, and fourth session, you are doing the opening prayers as usual, like the short refuge and bodhicitta. Yeah. So you do So we do the opening prayers in the second, third, and fourth session, only not the whole sadhana, just the opening prayers. And then you go straight from there to the purifying and the consecrating of the offerings, which is on page 24. And then you do to page 24 and page 25. So you do those offerings. And then you skip. You go to 35. The last line, that's where you start again. So again, second, third, and fourth session in the beginning. So you skip 25 to 35. Then you start again 35 with the Amsva Baba mantra. Read all the way to the mantra recitation. Do the mantra recitation. Then next you do the completion stage, the dissolution. And so then the tzok, which is next in the text, the tzok is then only practiced once a day. And in a retreat, it is practiced in the first session. So in the first session, you go on with the tzok. In the second, third, and fourth session, you skip the tzok. After the tzok, then is the inner dharma or the transcendental dharma offering. This one you do in all 4 sessions. So if it's not the first session, if it's the second, third, and fourth sessions, you skip the tzok after the completion stage, and you go straight to the inner dharma. Then there's the outer dharma, the mundane dharma, and that is only practiced once a day, and in the last session, in the 4th session. So that's the next one. And then once you finished all of that, then comes the dedication prayer. So then in the first, second, and third sessions, we do a more short dedication prayer. And in the 4th session, you read the whole sadhana until the end. So after the inner dharma offering, then there's also the more deities and so on, and dedication prayers. So then you just read all of that until the end during the 4th session.
Next question. When doing Cakrasamvara practice from the perspective of women and visualizing myself as Vajra, then how does the mantra garland move between Yab and Yum? Is there something else that women should be aware of?
Ina matanga pumo ina tini mikwa chipara penanga pumo ina nga ang temcho komgoro.
Really? I think the talk on go they go me. But the remote to zoom they promote our channel, promote do different continent, they zoom they what to do. But you also the show to contact me. The so much of my them to go on and Samaya most of the thing was on me. What the cheese in when you want to
So generally speaking, the visualization for a woman is exactly the same. There is no difference. And the way the mantra garland moves between the yap and the yum is also the same. And Rinchen Rinpoche actually said that you can switch, you can change between the direction it is moving. So according to your condition at that time. And Rinchen Rinpoche also said before that, like, although in general you should visualize yourself in this context as Cakrasamvara, if you have a very strong imprint of being a woman, then it is also okay to visualize yourself as Vajravarahi. But if your imprint is, you can overcome this imprint, then it's best to visualize yourself according to the practice, which is Cakrasamvara.
Just on the promo serial, that's a main dark calendar. Two months more, that's a promo trouble in that. I think one promo your mother. So what you need one, what to do? That's the not to have in the
So we give it the name Varahi and so on, but actually all these labels also do not exist in ultimate reality. In ultimate reality, there is no male and no female. So now we are speaking from a pure perspective.
Next question. I'm overwhelmed by the complexity of the Cakrasamvara practice. Ever since the empowerment, I had a lot of problems with the visualizations, the deities, the syllables. Rinpoche explained yesterday that the empowerment isn't complete until you understand it. Does this mean that since I couldn't have good visualization during the empowerment, then I don't have the empowerment? Can it be solved now that Rinpoche is doing the practice and the teachings and I'm following them?
Teni demjogin nyamlendi bem ta nyoksin nyokpa tawyorwa nyokpa tawores pe tamen rayores teni di kala kapu mambo yores teni chitang wang shune songde teni chitang wang shu be kabla yang pe mikpa tamen da sardabya teni hla teni yindo tamen da kom pe kala kapu res yin khachang Rinpoche wang na be kabla teni so sa wang dung gyula makina mathobari songimba teni ina yang shishina nga gyula ge yo amare khain sena nga mikpa ya po sardap thu yo amarwa teni tinda ina teni nga wang di thop yo amare res yana ta ngana so niwa ta panyam do nyam na jegi yo ra khran nyam do di nang shin chen na yang jegi res
kare na ji
tana ni ma ta pa nyam do nyam de na so wang ma thop ga nga yo ra ti to pa je sorry
wa thop yo je so mo pa de ba de wa thon da so ji ko di na de thon da thon ri ri da zang de wa ti wa to ke de so wa 我往东西往多大是还可，我自己，做说出这个的话，自己，我真的，我这嘛是两天的去南这个时候真的，我这对不起，我这我们要过来客户说，那我先把这个我们这个吧，这样才是说我这说别强的人就是嘛，我这大不了我说可能点了这个我们这个，你这没，我对不起我光过来是要嘛的是我才那个。那个说重点啦，个人慢慢去控制，知道做我基本的，这个的是做我这里是嘛。
So wait a minute, bounce. The question. So you have received the empowerment still because you have the aspiration, the wish to receive the empowerment. And while receiving the empowerment, you surely have understood some of the meaning of the empowerment. What's most important, what really determines is the motivation. And so, of course, now us practicing together will help. But if, in general, the Cakrasamvara practice is too complex, it is also fine on a daily basis to practice a different deity, such as Tara. Whichever one comes easier for you, this is the one you should practice on a daily basis.
Okay, and the next question has already been partially answered, but we'll ask it. What if we have no knowledge of how to make a torma or how to perform the ritual properly? Would it be better for us to wait to do this profound practice, which sounds like it should be done as close to perfectly as possible to avoid negative repercussions, until we can have in-person instructions and perhaps in-person physical retreat?
Tenita penatoma Thomas Lea can leshi mindos. Teni choka salen yora choka lega lalente ya poshi can shi mindos. Teni tan nyamna dipe ding sabores. Teni tin ta sabsa majena teni yang tebong embatamenda mingi yusarava. Sabza majena, teni that yang tapakci tan de banyaman se matona, yena yang di ta choka challenge teni toma lelo, kaya machine teni yang tapa yonggo mendwa setan temba, teni yang tera teni jebong empa yong sigira, teni teni nyamlan di cheala, tis pena maum bala, mingupu tabong sa thung na mingupu ki tama tabo top, teni mingupu cham te ki kokap malap ki partu pugna yang reve.
That's it. The Tomada, the Hirachuan, the Hirama, so Yaman Chico is busy. So the Migaris, so the Damla General Compione, Yant Company, the General, the General to Yamachi Tugaris, Zandos, Kalekale. What in the Mayali, this is Yamachi, the Yaris and Zana. When you say also Mongo told you to be now for so the Yaman was they were like to one to do the Kasikewa Tropana. At this Yagaris. Now they do so Yaman sitting at Yagaris. Yaman Bichanda Sian studying in Yaman Yahoshirachi to his Amalisi, Choasan on his Amalis like that. The Majid chitting the others and those.
So even if you don't know how to make the dormas or how to perform all the rituals properly, you should still do the practice, because what's most important is the visualization. And actually the visualization gets increasingly clear the more you practice. So if you just keep practicing, it will improve. So it's better if you don't wait for this in-person opportunity, but it's better to practice right now. Of course, you can eventually also try to find such an in-person opportunity, but until that time comes, you shouldn't wait with your practice. It's better to still do the practice. So don't think that I can't do the practice, it's too complex, I can't do all the rituals and so on. So I might as well better not do it at all. That's not how you should think. So even if you don't think you can do it perfectly, it's still better to do it than not to do it.
Okay, the rest of the questions that were submitted were actually already covered and answered by Drupon Rinchen Dorje Rinpoche in the teachings that he gave on July 12th and 13th. And those YouTube videos of his teachings will be permanently on the Garchen Institute channel. So please refer to those teachings anytime, as many times as you need. And now we will stop the Q&A session and take a 10-minute break. We'll resume at about 3:25 to start the Cakrasamvara practice session. Thank you so much, Drupon Rinchen Dorje, for answering all these questions, and thank you so much, Ina, for your translation.
Yeah, okay, thank you. They cut it Chivatinari, so Yamna
Tanya Mancheri, Tajivatas.
Oh, yeah, not the email sign, so thinking got you to email on they can not cut on Chivat.
Party,
But remember, did not Chivat on your Chicago to the email can bounce and get.
Oh, I just didn't know too.
They came but you know somebody who oh, yeah, they came and they evening in the day. Oh, yeah, okay. Thank you. Thế nên là tôi cảm ơn chưa cùng thấy đó.